my little pretties. What's up? It's your mistress, Lioness here. And today we are going to review a Disney movie. Now, this was requested by one of my subscribers to review this movie. Now, this movie came out in 1999, and it's a really good Disney film, especially for one being came out in 1999. And that we're going to review is Disney's Tarzan. Now, Tarzan, I found this movie to be very good. I'm not talking about the creepypasta one. That's obviously fictional, but if you guys want to check that one out, I highly recommend you do so. Today, I am gonna review a movie called Tarzan. Now, pretty much for those of you guys who were born in the 90s, will probably remember this movie, and for those who grew up in were born in the 90s, early 2000s, you probably have remembered seeing this movie as a kid. And I'm going to say right now that I'm going to be pretty much, just to warn you guys, I'm going to spoil pretty much everything about Tarzan. So if you guys don't want me to spoil it, I highly recommend you click off this video to go watch Tarzan. And yeah, Tarzan's a good movie, so I highly recommend you check that out. Now, first of all, we like to start off that the beginning of Tarzan starts off with him and his family end up being swept away from the ship and end up going into a jungle in Africa. So basically, Tarzan's parents build this tree house for him to live in. Meanwhile, Kala and Kerchak had just recently lost their baby since Sabor attacked the baby gorilla. So with that said, Tarzan was found as a baby by Kala when Kala went to the treehouse, since his parents were murdered by Sabor. So when Kala takes baby Tarzan back to the tribe, all the gorillas were like kind of, curious and all that. Well, meanwhile, Kerchak does not want Kala to keep the baby because, it's not his, and says, yes, you should take him back. And then Kala tells him that she can't because he'll die because of Sabor. And then finally, Kerchak comes to an agreement saying, okay, he can stay, but that doesn't make him his son. So basically, Tarzan, from a young baby, grows to a kid, and he causes some mischief in the film. Like, one of them being, he does a dare that Turk, his friend, said to him to get an elephant hair, which Tarzan does that, but then we get a stampede, and that's when things started happening. He gets a stampede, and luckily no one dies. No one dies in that part. So Tarzan, is like, as a kid, was upset because he hated being different. And his mom told him that's what makes him unique, is that he's different. So Tarzan grew up to be a man, a grown-up Tarzan. And he fights Sabor, and he successfully defeats Sabor to save his tribe. However, there is a gunshot, and basically Tarzan goes to find out that the gunshot was from Clayton, and there were humans like him. Like, there was Tarzan, there was like Clayton, there was like Jane, and Professor Porter. So basically, Tarzan gets curious, and he follows one girl named Jane. So Jane gets chased by by baboons, and Tarzan swims down on a vine to save her. So as soon as he saves her, he takes her to her camp, which she finds gorillas and realizes that Tarzan is living with the gorillas. So when Clayton and Porter showed up, Jane explains about what just happened and stuff like that. And then, with that said, Tarzan returns to see Jane after Kerchak tells Tarzan not to be anywhere near the humans. When Clayton obviously wants Tarzan to take him to the gorillas, but at first, Tarzan does not want to do it because, Kerchak does not want Tarzan to do that. Meanwhile, Clayton wants to make an agreement with Tarzan to make him see the gorilla. Take him and Professor Porter and Jane. Finally, before their ship decides to take off, Tarzan decides to go to go see Jane and Clayton and basically take them to the gorillas. So he disguises his friend Tantor and Turk as Professor Porter and Jane so they can have a chance to see the gorillas. Everything goes all fine, but when Kerchak comes around from nowhere and he's furious with Tarzan for after what he did, and Clayton has a gun. When he takes it from the gorillas, he tries to shoot them, and that really makes Kerchak angry. So basically, Tarzan realizes that he was not an ape; he was a human the whole time, even as a child. He ended up saying to he ends up deciding to go with Jane and his and her father to England, but as they were going to go on the ship, they realized it was a trap as Clayton had tied everyone up, and he says that he is going to capture the gorillas to sell them. So, however, Turk and Tantor were able to get to the boat and save Tarzan and his friends, and they go to the jungle to save Clayton, who basically was kidnapping all the gorillas. However, Tarzan and Jane, along with Professor Porter, started the fight to defeat Clayton. So they basically stopped the men from capturing the gorillas, and they were freeing the gorillas. And then there's a epic fight between Tarzan and Clayton. So Kerchak was shot by Clayton as Tarzan goes to fight Clayton. However, and there's this one scene, and this is actually kind of graphic, especially for a Disney film, even though this film was already dark. Clayton ends up he was in the vine and he was trying to cut himself free, like for the vines to get free, but then he falls to his death, and yeah, that's basically how he dies, is even though there was some vines wrapped around his neck. So I'm gonna say this. There was actually, like, if you look closely in the movie, when Tarzan gets down, when there's a flash of lightning, you could clearly see the outline of Clayton's body. Like, he was hung by the vines as he accidentally kills himself accidentally because he was trying to get to Tarzan. Now, and the end of the movie happens with Tarzan, with Clayton dying, no, with Kerchak dying and Tarzan taking over as leader of the tribe. And not only that, Jane and Porter and Professor Porter decided to stay with Tarzan. So that's basically how the movie was. Now, I loved this movie as a kid, and I adored it as a kid. I really thought this was funny. Like, okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, a lot of people really have to say that they like Tarzan. I honestly do know that Tarzan was a really dark movie. Like this movie, the Tarzan movie, I honestly think that this one is a dark movie, but it's still a good movie, to be honest. I still like the Tarzan movie. Like, I loved this since I was a kid, and this was obviously part of my childhood. Like, I like the animation, which is pretty good, and this is when computer animation started to be more hit on it, as after Toy Story was released, this became more apparent. Now, another part I could definitely say that I really liked about this movie was actually something I never thought I would say. This is because the animation was good, the storyline of how the movie went out was great, and these are based on the 424 novel series books by Edgar Rice Burroughs. But however, though, they're more dark than the Disney Tarzan movie from all we know. They're like 1,000 times more darker than this movie. But even though this movie is still dark, but I understand Tarzan was a pretty dark movie in my case. It's still a pretty dark movie. Now, with that being said, I like the songs in the movie. I thought they were awesome, especially they were sung by Phil Collins. Like Phil Collins did a very good job singing in for the songs in Tarzan. I know he's done songs for Brother Bear as well, but he's also done great songs for this movie too. So this is obviously kind of the reason why I like Tarzan so much, is because this movie is actually really good, because ever since well, Phil Collins sings in this movie, I actually love the songs that were sung by him. Now, Is there anything negative to say about this? Well, other than the fact that the movie was a little dark, that's not a problem. I don't mind Disney movies going that dark. Like, I don't mind it. I know this is not out of the ordinary for Disney. Disney does, like, a lot of weird things, and they even add a lot of stuff. Now, I can understand and see why this movie was dark. I can understand and see, why this movie was dark, which I could definitely say that now that this movie was kind of dark too. Now, anyways, if you guys are like wondering, well, what's your rating? Well, my final rating of this movie is a 10 out of 10. It's a great concept, great storyline, great animation. The voice acting was good, and the songs were amazing. I even loved the fact that Phil Collins sang all the songs in the movie, which is really, really good. And I obviously really enjoyed this movie as well. Now, I really have to say, I know some people may not be interested in Tarzan, but I have to say this movie is a really good movie. Even if you want to show it to your kids one day, and even kids today, they should probably see this movie. Even though it has dark parts in the movie, it's still really good. Like, my final rating of this movie is a 10 out of 10. It's a great movie, and I honestly enjoyed it. And I don't have anything bad to say about it. Well, other than the fact that it's dark, but I'm letting that slide because I know they're based on the novels. So the novels are a little more graphic and dark than this movie was. And there was even parts of it that wasn't in it. So that's kind of like one of the reasons why Tarzan was actually the dark movie. Now, with that being said, I really do hope you enjoyed this review. And anyways, what did you think about this review? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what would you have done personally to help make this movie a lot better? Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below on the channel, Lioness. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're brand new here to this channel, be sure you like, comment, subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell for updates when I upload. And like always, I will be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out.